Welcome to PrinnyCast Roundtable, a casual weekly show where we talk about what we've been up to and all the various gaming and media-related... That's a good start. Related stuff from over the last week. We're your hosts. I'm Chris, an anime addict and video gaming enthusiast, kind of leans toward RPGs and fighting games.
I'm Grover, MMO and simulation lover, especially for City Skylines right now. It is my game, and it probably will be my game for as long as SimCity 4 was.
Hours and hours and hours.
Decades and decades and decades.
And Mr. Setton is down there directing us through text messages, or usually just
meetings.
Yeah, usually just there to give us quips or correct us when we're saying something stupid. Which, in her opinion, yeah, quite often. Thank you. So, it's just the two of us tonight. Mike's kind of caught up. He's stuck in a whole other town at the moment, so that he's going to try to join us via iPad, but he didn't have a headset. Well. So, yeah, and the last time we tried it, it actually killed my Skype, which was weird.
Yeah, we don't need random variables going on with your computers having issues.
Yeah. About an hour ago, there was some crash that I think was probably graphics card related, but Windows did not want to reboot. That was fun.
Oh, God. That sounds really horrible.
So I had to kind of manually do things myself, and I'm no computer engineer that keeps making me do this stuff.
Oh, yeah, I wish I could be there to help. It's funny, because I think during this week, too, it was like a day after the last cast, I was going to spectate Unreal Tournament for one of my friends, and my hard drive turned off. Like, went dead, vanished, couldn't find it. And I was freaking out because that's my casting hard drive. Without that, I can't do YouTube videos and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I took it out, I opened it up, and that's something you never do that. That's last resort, don't know what's wrong, need to see if drive is damaged. And I opened it up, it was crystal clean. Clear as could be, no dust, anything on the inside. Because you even expect to have some dust from just time, but it's been a year and it was clean. So I just closed it back up and put it back in, and the damn thing restarted as soon as I think that Unreal Tournament caused it to think that it had a catastrophic sector error, and that's the only thing I could think of that would have caused that. But it's running now, and I'm happy. I'm still thinking of getting a solid state, a new one. That way, Windows has its own solid state, and the games all have their own solid state. I know I'm such a spoiled bastard when it comes to that. I love solid states. Everything
will be solid state before long, unless they just find something that's
what it's looking like. I'm thinking eventually you probably have one when they get down there.
I'm actually thinking it because to catch everybody up, the Mike work computer, which is a monstrous rig, it had the same thing. Windows boot up error, and it just will not find hard drives that are not damaged. I can access the hard drives just fine, but getting that Windows 7 to try to find it and boot up properly without going berserk, it's not working. So I'm going to probably have to replace Windows and replace that hard drive and then put everything back on it again, which is not going to be fun because it's such a custom build system. So when I do that, I'm really thinking about a solid state.
We haven't even talked about playing yet.
Well, go ahead and take it away.
Well, it's Clash of Clans. I'm about to get dragons. In a couple hours I'll have dragons. That'll be awesome as hell. Doing the things I need to do before I upgrade the Townhouse 8, which I don't think I'll be doing for at least another month and a half. I mean, no joke. And probably even longer than that, because I gotta upgrade the walls, and every wall upgrade is 200,000 gold.
Ouch.
And yeah, ouch indeed. So, then I did Guild Wars 2, and I got to play with you, and that was fun, and doing the daily stuff as always, going and fighting some world bosses, and I actually went and fought some world bosses today, before I actually played another game other than Skylines and Clash of Clans.
Yes!
The reason I play Clash of Clans when I'm playing Skylines is because I can open up Clash of Clans on top of Skylines and play it for a couple of seconds, do my stuff, and then jump out of it and go back to the game. Mm-hmm. And then Skylines. And it's no different than the week before that. Non-stop. I'm getting a lot better at my roads because I've learned how to use the tools better. People are like, everybody's like, you're going to burn out. And I'm like, oh, you don't understand. No, this is not a game that I burn out on. I do not burn out on simulation. This is like when I played Sims. I played The Sims for 1,200 hours. Actually, I'm being really friendly there. I'm about 4,000 hours in The Sims 2. That one year, I just did nothing but play that. Yeah. There was nothing else. So yeah. And, just simulation, I love it. Like, I'm sitting here right now staring at my current city in City Skylines and just thinking of what I can do, but then I'm like, no, don't worry about the Skylines. City's just making money while we're talking about stuff. And other than that, I haven't watched anything. Keeping my eye on the baseball teams now. It's coming April 6th is my team's first game, which is the Cardinals, and they're versing the Cubs, which is just, for me, it can't get better than that.
Yeah.
So, that's it for me. What have you been doing?
Well, the Tynan and the Congregation, the Infernal Legend, so that's all the usual stuff there. Nothing really new to speak of, with the exception of finally the guild in in Tynan that I'm a part of finally got the final upgrade. It
Finally?
was almost 9 months of waiting from the period that we hit, yes, we're going to upgrade, to the time that it actually upgraded. I think it was like July when we did that. It may have been August.
Let's put an example into how long this took. I was still playing when they started that upgrade.
Yep.
And I played and quit and completely forgot about the game. And then he just now got it done.
But granted, it is the final upgrade. It is the final city. But meanwhile, a little bit of Second Life. There was some really fantastic run on Second Life last Saturday, which was really necessary because the aunt that I mentioned did actually pass away that same night. It was like an hour after we had finished the podcast. So having a really good day on Second Life was nice. Went to a St. Patrick's Day party over the weekend. Won 300 in-game dollars in raffles, and that's like $1.25 or something like that. Got several of the trivia questions right, so there was another $40 there. And on top of that, I was so darn adorable, I won the costume contest too. So yes, I said adorable.
Show a picture of your costume.
And then went to another store just shopping around, and he was so impressed with the costume that he gave me one of his $2,000 outfits for free. Wow. So that was a great night. I got to talk to him for quite a while. He did not say exactly where in Europe, but he's an absolute anime freak, just like me. So we spent about 2 hours talking about it. And and how all the stuff that he was making was made, both textures and modeling were from scratch, a lot like how Neil does stuff, and that he was using his skills in Second Life to build himself up to actually try to get into the video games industry. So that was really cool.
That's a nice way to do it.
Other than that, nothing on the RPG Maker project. It's just been nonstop craziness of computer issues and family issues and health issues have not been really good.
Yes, everything.
I've just been kind of... So I do plan on getting into it. It's just one of the next big things to get into is talking about the scripts. And the scripts are where all the heavy programming is. And I really have to knuckle down and remind myself how some of this stuff works before I even try to pretend to talk to other people about it. And Guild Wars 2 finally got it downloaded. I think I mentioned last week about how it was just being this monster of a download. And what's even more irritating, there has been 2 major updates this week.
Yes. Oh, not just 2. 6.
Well, there was one that was 2.
Well, they had the one big update.
And then another one.
Then they had 6 updates to fix it.
And
these are all 500 plus updates. 500 megabyte plus.
So
he just got on a really bad week. Normally, they update it every Tuesday.
Well, the good thing is I don't know where the graphic sliders are or anything like that. I have not dove into that because it doesn't look as good as it's supposed to, obviously. I'm definitely turned down. But it runs exceedingly smooth. You would not know that I was playing online. And this seems to go not only for me playing it, but for the people around me. I've only on a few occasions noticed anybody just kind of zip. And it's usually other players. The creatures that you're fighting.
Slingshot. Yeah, they all were fine.
I've never seen them do that, so that was awesome.
I think I saw you slingshot once, and that's when we were in a very crowded part of the town.
Yeah, the city. So it looks like that's perfectly playable, which is really nice. And I really like that whole heart system thing. You know, a lot of those type of games is here, go to the guy with the little question mark, do the quest, have some little story, most of which you have to read, so most people end up skipping it anyway. Then you go on to the next one, you feel like you're not really doing anything. But these things, all you have to do is get in the vicinity, and you can already do stuff without even talking to the character, and it actually feels like you are helping that character. It doesn't matter if there's 20 other people doing the exact same thing, it feels like you're all working together to do that exact same thing.
Yeah.
And then that random event thing, where, you know, 1 minute you're protecting some little barn from getting attacked from invaders, or the next you're escorting a cart up to another town, and it's just little stuff like that. It's nice. I like it.
One moment you're buying something from a merchant at an outpost, and the next moment there are 400 monsters trying to kill you. And everybody in the town.
There was that.
The Ascalon ghost one. That was awesome. I love that one.
We tried. That was so close.
There's so many ghosts when it starts up. It's just like, oh god, look at them all.
We were in the last 20 seconds.
Yeah, last 20 seconds, and one ghost elementalist got a fireball. And that last shred of health took it. Now, I'm not sure. I want to take you to a world boss one day, but I'm not sure how it's going to react to that.
All in good time. That's probably a level 70 to 80 thing anyway.
Oh no, the first world boss is level 20.
Oh, well.
Actually, the first world boss, I think the char area is like level 15. So you could do it very, very early, and there's going to be like 300 people there waiting.
Yeah, all in all, it's a good experience so far. I've started up 2 characters. I've got me a warrior and a ranger.
I have bad
both of them
news,
are about level 8.
The bad news is that we can't go run in the jungle like lunatics because the jungle's not open in the game yet.
Oh.
Soon it will, though.
And that pretty much carries most of what I've played this week. I did play a little bit of Smash Brothers, and it seems like there was something else that I tinkered with, but it's kind of a haze at this point, and I obviously didn't play it for very long. However, I finished Avengers Earth of Mightiest Heroes, which was all in all a nice series. If you like superhero stuff, especially if you want to kind of draw a line between the movie universe that they've got going and the original comic stories, this is a great place to start. If anything, you'll probably be disappointed that it got canceled. Unless you're one of those type of people that think cartoons are just for kids. In that case, skip it, despite the fact that, it had some kind of rough moments for something that would be considered Saturday morning cartoons. But on the other side of the ocean, I finished Sacred Blacksmith.
Saturday had the same thing too.
It did. It kind of did. Sacred Blacksmith, it was a very meh series to begin with, and it kind of ended meh, so...
yeah.
It's worth seeing. It has some nice animation, but picked up Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood again, because that guy I was talking to actually highly recommended it, because I had passed it off before, because it's retelling the story that was already told with the original Full Metal Alchemist series. It's just the one that did the series in the first place did their own thing that was loosely based off the manga, whereas this one is entirely based off the manga, as I understand it. I could be entirely wrong, but so...
I just know I just started watching it and got lost really fast. It's just like, wait a minute, this is nothing like the other.
Brotherhood moves extremely fast. Matter of fact, that was my complaint at first. They were bulldozing through stuff that were such powerful moments in the first series that was just kind of like, next episode. And this one drove me a little nuts. That and the fact that it was rehashing stuff that, even though it had been like 3 or 4 years since I've seen it last, it felt so fresh in my brain, because Full Metal Alchemist was one of those series that really stuck with me. Because it was one of the first, it must have been longer than that, because it was one of the first series that I ever saw do almost a villain story of the week sort of thing. And then halfway through the series, all of that stuff you thought was filler made sense. It was important to the plot. And I had never seen a show do that, and I thought that was impressive. So, but this guy said, by the time you get to those last few episodes, and granted this is like a 52 episode series, that you'll be guessing with several different options of what could be coming next. So he highly recommended it, so I'm giving it a try again. And that's pretty much where I'm at, with the exception
of Netflix or Crunchy?
I would think it might be both. Brotherhood's been out for a while. It might actually be on Netflix now.
I hope it's on Netflix. I'm going to watch it.
I'm pretty sure they dubbed it.
Oh, I don't want to watch any damn dub. I mean, I just want the text on the bottom. I don't want it to dubbed in English. I hate that.
There's some really good dubs out there, but they're very few and far between. Like the Cowboy Bebop and Reader Dar TV are probably the 2 best dubs of all time.
Yes. Okay. And Trigun. I can't.
Yeah.
When I hear Vash Japanese, I'm like, that's not the Vash I know. The English one I like a lot more. But then again, his brother in Japanese sounds way more awesome in Japanese than the English version. The English one sucks. But Cowboy Bebop, every damn character, every person was perfect in English and Japanese. When I've watched them both in both versions, and I love every single one of their voices, and that's rare.
Steve Bloom is awesome, period. He's the guy that voiced Spike.
And it gets kind of weird when you get to some of the other ones, like go to Dragon Ball, and I can't stand Goku in Japanese, and Gohan and all of them. I love Frieza's voice in Japanese. He sounds like a freaking boss in Japanese.
The problem with me in Goku in the original Dragon Ball Z series is because I know she's a fantastic voice actress. I know there's a lot of voice actresses who voice male characters, but she does not fit Goku at all.
And it is plainly obvious that it's a female actor.
Yeah, there's a lot of them that can pull it off pretty good, but not in this case. Now, I never saw her do the original Dragon Ball series when he was still little, and I know it was the same voice actress and they kept her over for the roles, so I know why her voice sounds way off for such a big muscular guy for the latest series, but yeah, I was never a Dragon Ball fan in the first place, so that didn't help matters.
I was a diehard fan until GT. I was just like, okay, I'm not so sure about this.
I think they were trying to just keep it alive at that point, and which explains all the reboots they've had ever since.
He didn't want to do it, I heard. Like, he really didn't want to do GT, but he just like, you know what, they really want us to script.
And speaking of which, that kind of rolls us right into some of the news this week. Attack on Titan is one of those animes that's probably going to be considered a classic. It's got a fusion of simple but oddly different kind of premise, and there's big political stuff going on, and a main character body count that's probably higher than Game of Thrones, and one of the more graphic mainstream animes this side of Gantz. So it was one of those very trying for people that don't do well with violence or gore or anything like that. That is not a show for you, but it's definitely considered one of a gigantic classic. Its theme song is instilled in a lot of people's minds. And thanks to a Japanese TV show this week, the Japanese live-action movie teaser trailer was actually unveiled, and everybody's calling it a leak trailer. But probably the bigger news of the week is one that's really hard to describe much of, and that's that at a press conference, Nintendo was talking about all the interconnectivity stuff that they're going to start using with the Wii U and 3DS, even to tablets and smartphones and PC. And they said a dedicated game system called the NX, which means there is indeed a follow-up game system in the works. They said very little about it, but it was basically a, yes, we are making a new Nintendo console. So there you go. They said they probably won't make any official appearance until like E3 of next year, so don't expect a whole lot of information. But even the fact that they unveiled this so early is kind of different for Nintendo. Usually they're one of those people that keeps things close to their chest.
Yeah, they're usually very, very quiet.
I just make this slide in here because I did not do enough research on it to find out if this was actually true. But this was not considered a rumor, but Microsoft 10, by the way, what happened to Microsoft 9? Did it just...
they couldn't do Microsoft 9 because that was the code name for Windows 95. And if they use that, their servers will look at the computers running Windows 9 and think that it's Windows 95 instead and freak the hell out. So that's why they're not using it. Oops!
It makes sense that all of a sudden, that there's going to be a lot of people confused out there. I certainly was. But when Microsoft was saying that 10 is going to be given for free to anybody that has a Windows 7 or 8, as well as anybody that's downloaded it illegally. That's a very strange way of doing things. They basically giving it out free to anybody.
Yep.
So, more power to them.
I think I'm all for that, but I really hold off for now.
Oh yeah.
Because Windows 10 is crazy prototype right now.
And then finally, the new Chris Columbus movie starring Adam Sandler called Pixels, about aliens using 80s video games to invade planet Earth. The concept we've actually seen on both Futurama and Rocket Jump video, that I think the Rocket Jump video is largely what inspired this movie. They're just too similar, I'm sorry. If you can get over the cringeworthy trailer itself, or the fact that its casting seems very odd, you cannot deny, if anything else, that it totally broke the world record for biggest trailer launch. It had 34 million views in 24 hours.
Oh, wow.
Which beat the old record of Amazing Spider-Man's 22 million. That's quite a jump.
That's very impressive.
And it's actually threatening the Star Wars trailer teaser.
Wow. A movie with Adam Sandler is threatening Star Wars. Wow.
And I hate the trailer. I like the concept, but I really hate that trailer. There was nothing really funny going on in it, even with the stuff that was supposed to be funny. But for a video game nostalgia guy like me, I guess I'll definitely see it anyway.
Mm-hmm. I don't care what the critics think. I sit there and ask other people, like, what do you think? What did you think? What did you think?
I probably won't see it in the theater. I don't get out to theaters very often. But, by the time it gets on DVD or Netflix or something like that, I'll be catching it.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I guess that's all the news, too. So we'll wrap this up. Follow us at Twitter at PrinnyCast, and you can contact us with email at PrinnyCast@gmail.com.
Yeah. You want to listen to us live and actually communicate with us while we're doing it, you go to Twitch and go to the PrinnyCast_Grover channel, and we'll be doing it Friday. I always start streaming at 8, and the casts start sometime during the thing, unless something goes wrong and we can't do it.
Which happens. But we'll see you all next time on the PrinnyCast.
See you next time.
Later, dudes.